So, as is often the case, it is approaching midnight, and I am the most awake I have been in a while. I am very exhausted, but I will go through Anime Boston. If I can get my windows in order at least. Okay. I see the mistake that I made. I'm gonna fix this before I get into the game. Okay, that's better. For real this time. Never mind, it shifted all of my windows over to one side. Why you gotta be like this?
A summer's day in Skarabrae became a wintry night.
God, it pushed one of my windows over so far, it disappeared entirely.
Bright crimson on white. A madman's story of ancient glory brought death from far away. For eldritch power did Mangar scour the depths of Skarabrae. Snow in summer, ice in my
Okay, is that fixed? No, it's not.
Death's cold fingers tear us apart.
Okay, good enough. Fuck it, we're going in.
Snow in summer, ice in...
So, someone else who was recently at BCEC. Well, I'll get to that later, but for now... Thanks, Tiger Uchimaru, for the resub 38 months in a row. El Barto's Tale. Yeah, get the Simpsons references in now. So the last time I was in Boston was for PAX East, which was a couple of years ago for me. Originally, I flew there, but this time around, I wound up driving there, which was a bit of an excursion, because from where I live to, well, to the place that I was going to in Boston, easily over 700 miles.
Yes, away I go.
Okay. I'm also trying to remember where the hell I was in this game. So, the entire trip in total was slated to take 11 and a half hours. But I load up my car, I hit the road. I am on the highway for a grand total of 2 minutes before traffic slows to basically a stop because of a car accident. And the sad thing is, it wasn't even a car accident on my side of the road. It was a car accident going westbound. I was on the eastbound side. But there was so much debris and shrapnel that flew over the concrete divider and went into our lanes that, yeah, they had to get emergency crews over to clear some of it off. And unfortunately, this would be part of a recurring pattern. The pattern being, car accidents, making the trip take notably longer than it should. Because but when all was said and done, I saw a total of 5 car accidents on the way to Boston.
Speak.
There was a half-hour period where I drove through like a little part of West Virginia. Sure enough, car accident there that stopped everything. New England people can't drive. You know, the last one was in the Boston area.
Yeah?
Ready?
Ready.
Aye.
Okay, I'm probably going to screw this up a couple of times, but we'll go for it.
Come on, you tinkers!
Speak. Ready. Bottoms up.
Now, there is one thing I will say about the drive over there. The drive there is at least interesting. Like, you do end up going the long way across Pennsylvania, but when you do that, you end up seeing, like, the Allegheny Mountains, the Pocono Mountains, a bunch of rock faces, overlooks on valleys, a shit ton of fog. So it's not really a boring drive. Unlike, say, Kansas, which to this date remains the worst state I have ever tried to drive through. And sure enough, I do eventually find the hotel where I'm going to be staying. And as I'm pulling in, almost get into a car accident with someone. Thanks, Boston drivers.
Yes?
So it's after I get there that I realize
On your word.
there's not like specific parking for the hotel. There's just a big ass public garage nearby,
Goodbye
which
for now.
yeah, I'll go for this. There's a big ass public garage that attaches to like the hotel and a shopping center and some other stuff. And it's also very labyrinth-like in its design, and the spots were kind of small. Like, there were some that I looked at and I thought, okay, I'm just driving like a little sedan and I'm going to have some issues going for that. Meanwhile, there were people trying to park like big ass trucks, and there's no physical way they're fitting in these parking spaces. So they end up like blocking parts of the lanes going through the parking garage, making it even harder to navigate.
Aye?
But I do eventually find a place to park. And because of the labyrinthine design, I could not tell how to get back to where the hotel was. And I wasn't alone, because I see these other people, clearly dressed for the convention, who are like wandering around the parking garage, trying to figure out where in the hell everything is. Yeah, I guess I could try this.
Ready.
Oh, good
Tell me
crit.
what you need.
What should I do? Speak.
Yep.
Oh wow, that actually worked. Excuse me? There you go. Knew you could do it. Oh, this game. So, parked. I eventually find out how to get into the hotel, which involves going through the valet door, where you have to like push a button for security to let you in. And I meet up with Casey and Kira. And I'm exhausted. And they reveal that there was a bit of a mix-up with giving them the room for the convention. Because they asked for a room that had 2 beds. This room did not have 2 beds, it had 1. The room itself is okay. It just only had 1 bed. Regardless, though, we say, fuck it, let's just get everything up to the room first. And, one thing I did bring was, a bunch of snacks, because I went to an Asian grocer, before hitting the road for the convention. So I had, like, a bunch of those Meiji Panda, like, cookie things with the fillings that are, like, chocolates or vanilla. These were all chocolate. And I also got, because of the whole choke on a baguette running joke with Casey, I found baguette chips. They're like sliced up pieces of baguettes, and they're toasted, and they have like some kind of flavor to them. I brought ones that had black pepper, and there were garlic baguette chips. I wanted to bring, there's like one that's got like a bit of honey on it, but I couldn't find those. Those were out of stock when I went to the grocer the last time.
Aye. On your word.
She's not quite drunk enough for that.
Blow thick in
On your
my
word.
skin.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Yep, this is what I figured would happen. Okay. So, because there's only 1 bed, that presents a bit of a problem. Because there are 3 of us in this room. Obviously, I am not going to lay claim to the bed, because that is for Casey and Kira. So I start looking at what else is in the room that could be a potential sleep space. And I see this big-ass chair, and it has, like, a footrest thing. And I start thinking, maybe. So, over the course of the entire weekend, I built 3 different versions of the con bed. The version 1, which was like the prototype, was just the chair and the footrest positioned long ways, so I could kind of stretch out my feet. And then I just used my jacket as a blanket. Version 2. Again, chair plus footrest. And there was also this other piece of furniture in the room which we thought was attached to the wall, but it actually wasn't. It was this, like, maybe 2 foot high, not quite a table that had this, like, faux leather covering over the top of it. So, I take that, I slide it to the other side of the room, and put it beyond the footrest. So now I can fully stretch out my legs when I sleep. I'm still using my jacket as a blanket. Version 3 of the bed, and the one that I ultimately settled upon for the whole weekend, is, still had the chair. The footrest was swapped out, because there's, like, no give to it, and basically I'd be resting my ass on it. I swap that out, and instead I wheel in the desk chair, which does have a bit of padding to it, and it's one of those hydraulic chairs, so there's a bit of give to it. I adjust the hydraulic so it's at the same height as the chair, and then make that the middle piece of my fucked up convention bed. And that's the thing that I got, like, the best sleep on.
What are we doing?
Okay, he's got 32. Oh, he does have headstrong. That is going to make this more difficult.
Aye? Uh-huh.
Aye.
Speak. Walk away and you won't get hurt.
Oh yeah, for a moment I considered bathroom floor, but the way the bathroom floor was designed in the hotel, you couldn't really stretch out very much with it, so it wouldn't have been a good idea. So, that leads into Friday. And the weather was not great in Boston to start out with. It was kind of cold, it was kind of rainy. It did gradually get better as the weekend went on, to the point that by the end of it, people weren't looking at me weird for walking around in shorts and a t-shirt all the time. So, Casey and Kira got their badges
Aye?
when they initially arrived, and that included the badge that I would have for helping Casey with stuff at the convention. There was a slight problem with it, though. Casey's badge said Casey Mongelo. My badge said Casey Mongelo. You can see the problem.
Speak.
So, and the thing is, their badges weren't like everybody else's badges where there's like a pouch with a card that you slip in. Theirs were completely sealed. So you could not take the card out of it to like write anything on it. Casey Twin Powers activate. Oh god. Hi HO Masked Man. I forgot to say that earlier, I'm just saying it now. So, I said, hold on, I got this. Because I always bring, like, a few Sharpies with me, just in case. So I take out a black Sharpie, and I put an apostrophe S after Mongelo, and Handler underneath it. And then I also write, like, designated fan puncher at the bottom, and then cross it out just for funsies.
Aye? Here.
Oh, wait, 68 mental.
God, mine!
Okay, that makes things a little easier. Wrangler. I mean, sometimes Handler, sometimes Wrangler. They both kind of go hand in hand. So, we start heading down to the convention area, and this took place at the Heinz Center, which was kind of a unique setup that I hadn't really encountered much before. So, there's the Sheraton Hotel, and then there's this escalator you go up, and you walk down a bit of a hallway, and it attaches to this indoor shopping center mall type area. There's lots of shops, lots of places to stop and get a bite to eat. And that wound up really coming in handy later. But first of all, there's a mandatory thing that all the guests have to go to for opening ceremonies. So we all start making our way over there. And we're being led to where the opening ceremonies are by a couple of liaisons who work with the convention. And we accidentally, I can't remember if we were going in an exit or exiting an entrance, But like one of the Anime Boston staffers there is like, no, 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 you have to go around. Jesus fucking Christ. That's a direct quote, by the way. Jesus fucking Christ. We are like 30 minutes into the convention, and this one staffer has already had enough. Anyway, what the hell was I doing here? Oh, right.
Yeah?
I just imagine that it's a Boston thing. Yeah, Boston moment. There you go. So that's 44, 27. That'll still do a decent amount of damage.
Yes?
Okay, so I could use these two.
Command me.
Hang on. In ike, den stien.
Boston moment. Yeah, first of many. So like I said, they mandated that guests be at the opening ceremonies. And it became apparent why. They were going to have all of the guests get on stage as they were introduced and like say a few words for the convention. So we're led backstage, and I did not know.
I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What? I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What? I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What?
Thanks, Shadow Snake, for the raid. You're just in time for Anime Boston story time. So, where was I? Right. We're being led backstage for the opening ceremonies, and I didn't really know much about Anime Boston, like how big it was, how long it had been around. It's been around for, I think like a decade and a half at this point. And they like have a fairly sized production for this. Like, for example, they have their own in-house team for producing videos and graphics for the convention. So even though... Damn it, I was afraid of that. Thanks, H2O Masked Man, for gifting Shadow Snake a sub. 38 gift subs, you fucking madman. So, even though opening ceremonies hadn't started yet, they already had a ton of like splash screens and motion graphics and like funny videos that they were playing in the meantime. They had their own choose your own adventure things set up on the video screens that people could follow along with. It was pretty impressive. And of course, as I'm walking through this, I'm like keeping my arms stiff at my sides, watching my steps carefully because I don't want to accidentally like bump into some of the equipment as I'm trying to pass through. And all that video production carried over to the guest introductions, because when they introduced the guests, they would play a custom-made video that showed their name, their headshot, a list of some of the things they voice acted in, and then they would play clips from the things that they were in. And of course, when they did Casey's, they played the Neon Genesis Evangelion theme, and then showed a few clips. So, Casey and Kira do their intros, and they say, you don't have to stay for the whole thing. Once you're done, you can go off and do whatever. Which, in our case, we took that to mean, all right, let's go get something to eat. It's at this point I should point out that Casey and Kira have very differing tastes and desires when it comes to food. Because Kira had the idea of going to this place nearby that served Japanese food. It was attached to a hotel other than the one that we were in, and it was along the way there that I realized there are crosswalks in Boston, but a lot of them do not have crosswalk signals. So it's kind of a free-for-all. Which just contributes to my mental narrative of the level of psychosis required to grow up driving in Boston. But anyway, we get to this Japanese place, and it's like fairly fancy looking. There's this like stereotypical God, I don't even know how to describe it. There's music playing, but it's like the kind that you hear it and you go, oh, the people who listen to this are in a completely different tax bracket than what I'm in. And then we sit down and I start looking at the menu and I realize I didn't have a whole lot of spending money going into this. And the only safe thing I could buy from the menu money-wise was a miso soup, and basically that was it. So Casey and I look at each other and we realize this place kind of gives us the aura of you don't belong here. So Kira was there with someone else, and Casey and I decided we're gonna dip and go to somewhere else that isn't quite so fancy and or pricey, and that place was Shake Shack. Yeah, one whole miso soup. I mean, that miso can go a long way. How expensive was the miso soup that it was the only safe option? First of all, hi, Yune. Second, I think it was like $10. $10 for a miso. Part of that is like the kind of restaurant it is. Part of that is also Boston's expensive.
Ready.
Orders?
Actually, wait, hold on.
Ready.
Yes?
Okay, good. That damage radiates out. Forgot how difficult it is to try doing these streams. So, Casey and I go to Shake Shack. Of course, because the convention is going on at this time, there are a bunch of people there, and the Shake Shack happens to be very close to the place where people walk into the convention center proper. So naturally, it generates a line. It's going out the Shake Shack, but it's moving at a decent pace, so we go, you know what, sure, we'll just wait. We get in line, and there's a small group of cosplayers in front of us. And they go, excuse me, can you take a photo? Or something like that. I can't remember the exact phrasing. And Casey goes, sure, and holds out their phone because they assume that they wanted Casey to take a photo of them. And then they go, no, we want a photo with you. And Casey's a little taken back at first, but says, yeah, sure. I don't think they're at the point where, it's still in that stage where they're not used to being recognized in public. Like at a convention or anywhere else, really. But I mean, if they keep getting big roles, then I guess that's naturally going to happen more often. Plus, they're starting to appear more at conventions, so their face is getting out there more, not just their voice. So it's to a certain extent, I guess that's to be expected. So yeah, we go to Shake Shack. We get shakes. I get the
Ready?
bacon and cheese fries,
suppose.
and that pretty much sets me for most of the day.
Aye?
Orders?
And hold on.
Ready.
Tell me.
On your word.
Sorry, I want to make sure I do this first.
Cheers.
On your word.
Quite nice.
Alright. Once we all get, like, something to eat for lunch, we all head back to the autograph area, which there's, like, an autograph section, a tabletop section, and a video gaming section, all kind of in the same enclosed area. So, like, there's us there, Michelle Ruff is there, Alejandro Saab is there, Christina V is there. Christina V was actually right next to Casey's table, and then Kira's was on the other side. Zeno Robinson was there. Oh, Greg Ayers was there. And we'll get back to Greg later on. But they just had, like, the black and white name tag up for, like, who was where. So we get out these banners that are made that have, like, name, headshot, collection of characters they voiced, and we set that up. We get all the prints and stuff laid out on the table, and sorry, I lost my place in my notes. Oops. And the head of the autograph area comes over to us and just gives the usual spiel, like, is there anything you need? We'll have liaisons around. You, like, need water or a replacement for a paint marker or a Sharpie or something. Just ask one of them, they'll get it to you. And then they hand us these pieces of paper. And it's got these, like, grids on it. And, like, labels for each grid that say, like, autograph, 8x10 / personal. Autograph, large print. Autograph, Funko. And I was taken a little aback by this, but they wanted us to, like, keep a proper log of every kind of, like, autograph that was being purchased. They also wanted you to keep track of selfies. And I understood why they did this later, because the way they handled contracts was they have, like, a certain guarantee amount of money for the guests. And the idea of the guarantee structure is if the guest hits that guarantee number in sales from their table, then the convention doesn't have to pay them anything. If they don't hit that guarantee, the convention makes up the difference to them. That's the kind of contract structure that a lot of cons go to, rather than just doing, like, straight up appearance fees. Which both of them have their advantages and disadvantages, and I won't bore you with the details on those. But long story short, that's what they were for. And whew, man. Let's just say no one was worried about hitting a guarantee for this con. Because, like, it was just a constant flow of people on the first day. Like, I'm pretty sure the guarantee was made just on the first day of the convention alone. Okay, let's see, that's 73... That's 27. It would be 100 minus the 15.
Ready.
Or I could do this. So I should mention, God, I lost my place again. Sorry.
Yep.
God, I'll need physical to
is?
bring them down. This should do it. Yep,
Aye.
definitely. All right. So because of the constant flow of people, we just had to keep autographs going all the time and not getting much of a break. And then once the autographs were done, we had a panel that Casey and Kira were putting on about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because both of them voiced key characters in Stone Ocean, which was the most recent animated thing. I think. I don't really follow JoJo. But this was relatively late in the day. So Kira initially thought that because of the time of day, it would kind of be like a deader panel. They'd maybe have like half a room of people. They get there are no seats left. Absolutely none. So they're like, oh shit, and they go starting to set up their panel. And I'm sitting there going, fuck, where do I sit? Because they don't allow people to like stand in the back of the room because fire hazard, capacity laws, etc., etc. So remember the Jesus fucking Christ staffer from the beginning? We did encounter another high-strung staffer like that, but in this panel room, there's a guy up front who's running the audio and video, and he's got his like own little desk with a setup, and he comes up to me and he said, were you planning to stick around for the panel? And I said, well, yeah, but it doesn't look like there's anywhere to sit. And he goes, well, I can't have you stand at the back because that's going to be a fire hazard. So why don't you just come up to the desk and take a seat with me? I'm both relieved that there's somewhere to sit for the panel, but also there's that little part of me that's terrified. Because he has 2 seats at his desk. Well, table, I should say. And he's like right in front of this like huge switchboard running the sound and the video. And I'm next to him, also directly in front of audio video equipment. And every once in a while he'll like reach over in front of me. So the entire panel, I'm just paranoid about potentially like hitting something or even just being close enough to it that my tech incompetence aura will cause something to short out. So I'm sitting with my back to the chair, my arms folded in at my sides, just not doing anything for the length of the panel. But the panel does go over well. There were actually some really nice looking JoJo cosplayers there. Like, I'm not familiar with the series, but the costumes themselves look good. And there was one guy there who, because I'm not familiar with the series, I thought he was cosplaying Indiana Jones. But he was actually, I guess, an old version of Jotaro. But it was impossible to miss this guy because he was easily, and I'm probably underestimating, easily 6.5 feet tall. You could not miss this guy. Especially at one point when a bunch of the people in JoJo cosplay like all lined up and started doing poses, and this guy is like 2 heads taller than everybody else. But at that panel, once it was done and everybody was starting to leave and there were like a couple stragglers hanging around, I noticed there's a woman there. And they're clearly not in JoJo cosplay. I see like boots with fur on them, a chest piece with fur on it, and a skull on their head. And I'm going, oh my god, I think I know what that is. But I don't want to be that guy who gets it wrong. And sure enough, it comes up in casual conversation when one person asks her, oh, by the way, what's your costume from? It looks really cool. And they go, oh, this is the bone armor from Monster Hunter World. And I just belt out, I knew it! Probably too loud. But I did compliment them on the cosplay. It looked really good. That just reminds me of the Monster Hunter stuff that I want to try and do at some point. Meanwhile, I have no idea how I'm going to deal with this guy.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
We just had these guys
Command me.
meditate a bit more.
Speak.
On your word.
Ready.
Let's see, they lost 42 health before, so I
Yeah.
should play it safe and give them this.
Ready.
Speak.
So,
What should I do?
once all of that is done, we realize we haven't really eaten anything. And, it was a late panel, so a bunch of the food places were either already closed or shutting down.
Down the hatch.
So we say, well, all of us have guest badges. Why don't we go to the green room and see if we can get something to eat there? And the green room is conveniently one floor above where Casey and Kira's room is. Like all the way at one end of the hall. And there's a doorbell to it, which I'm not used to seeing that in a hotel, but there was a doorbell to the green room. We get let inside, and so I need to back up a moment to say that this convention has a distinction between types of guests. They have a list of North American guests, and they also have a list of Japanese guests. I can't remember a lot of them, but they invited some of the voice actors for the Japanese versions of certain anime. They invited God, I can't remember his name. He's a producer for various anime. Lady Beard was there, although his current act is Baby Beard. And Lotus Juice was also there. But I'm telling you all that to let you know that we walk into the green room and there's this open area where there's 4 couches all arranged in like an open-ended square, and they're facing each other. Yeah, I knew Lotus Juice was going to get your attention, Tiger Uchimaru. Yes, Lotus Juice was there. And all the Japanese guests are there. They're all talking to each other, and the food for the green room is all right behind them. So there is no way for us to get to this food without walking right through the middle of all of their conversations. So we just do that thing where we, like, even though crouching down doesn't help at all because everyone's sitting down anyway, we like crouch down, do that quick little shuffle, and we're like, sorry, and go to the food. Casey and I resist the urge to say, like, gomenasai, or shirei or something like that. But we do manage to get something to eat from the green room. Sumimasen, yeah, that's another one. Basically anything saying, I'm gonna be rude, sorry. So we managed to have some food there. We head back to the room. We all fall asleep. I'm on version 2 of Conbed, which I still have to like wake up and stretch because, I mean, it's better than the initial prototype, but still not quite there yet. As I wake up, I look outside at the other rooms in this tall building across from us. I don't know if it was another hotel or an apartment complex or what, but certain people had things on the windows. The ones that stood out to me were, there was a person who put "I heart you" in like some kind of post-its or something. Another person put a heart on their window. And then there's another person who had like those strings of letters that say "Happy Birthday" across their window. We couldn't see the entire thing. We just saw like "Stay," but it was pretty obvious what it was supposed to be. So I don't know if there was someone like celebrating their birthday by going to the convention or what. Anyway, for this day, rather than having one long autograph signing block, everyone had their signing split into 2 different time blocks, with a break in between that would offer more than enough time to go and get lunch somewhere. For the first half of the signing block, it was basically Angel Devil Day. Like, if I remember correctly, I think the very first person in Casey's line was an Angel Devil cosplayer, and Casey voiced Angel Devil in Chainsaw Man. And then there were like, I think 5 or 6 more Angel Devils that showed up throughout the day. Chainsaw Man was fairly well represented at this convention. But then there was Mimic Man. So Casey also voices this character called Chilchuck Timms, who is a halfling in a show called Dungeon Meshi, aka Delicious in Dungeon. And this halfling character can like disarm traps and open chests, and also has frequent run-ins with mimics that end poorly for him. So this dude is in line. He has this giant treasure chest. It's partially open, it's got sharp teeth, and the legs and lower torso of a body are sticking out of it. And they put it up on the table and say, "Will you sign my mimic?" And sure enough, Casey does sign it, because, I mean, how can you not? Let's see. Is there anything else I can do with this turn?
Here.
Uh-huh. Ready. Orders?
Don't think
Tell me what
so.
you need.
Yeah?
Him taunting at this point would be useless. you have a friend of yours who's obsessed with that character, I think a lot of people gravitate toward that character because Chilchuck just doesn't put up with most people's shit. Good job.
Who's killing this shit?
Okay, they did surprisingly little.
Yes?
It was also while we were doing this first signing block that the convention hit capacity. Which, capacity for this event? Oh, I can't remember the exact number. I think it was like 31,000 people in attendance. It was over 30,000, but it was like low 30s. But that's a lot of fucking people. So we eventually do finish the first signing block and we go, alright, we're going to go get something to eat. Kira, who had already scouted out this area a little before, / had people in town who knew places to eat, took us to, it's within that shopping center area. And, it's not just a restaurant. It's not just like a corner store or something. It's this huge, like, open indoor market area that's all Italian, and it's called Italy. There was, like, an indoor restaurant in there called La Pizza and La Pasta, which, of course, reminded me of famous Punch-Out character Pizza Pasta. So we checked what the wait time for it was going to be. And the wait was so long that by the time we got seated, the next autograph session would start. So that was off the books. We instead went to... Exactly, Masked Man. I cook the pizza. So instead, we went to this other restaurant called Earl's, which... it was kind of odd, this place, because there were some places in it that were like, yeah, cool, I could eat here. And then there were a couple other areas in it that also radiated that you don't belong here kind of energy. We didn't eat in those spaces. We were in, like, this upper level space, which is usually, like, open air dining, but it was all enclosed because it was way too cold. So we all get seated, and the person who seats us, she asks, are you in town for the convention? And we're like, yeah, we were actually invited to, oh, I forget how Kira phrased it. It was something like, we were invited to, oh god, I can't remember what she said. It was something along the lines of, like, participate in it, or something like that. And the person asks, like, oh, really? Well, how are you taking part in it? And then they explain, like, Casey, Kira, they are voice actors for various animated TV shows and video games. And the server starts nerding out, and they go like, really? Like what? And Casey's like, I did a voice for Evangelion. And they're like, oh, what? And this person seating us just starts nerding out over all the different things that they're talking about. And it's clear that they know what these things are. They're not just trying to, like, gas them up or anything like that. But it was kind of funny seeing this person seating us who's in, like, basically business casual attire. Just going, oh my god, I love Chilchuck. So, we get seated at Earl's, and it is immediately apparent that they are under a lot of stress trying to serve as many people coming in for the convention and just for casual dining as they possibly can, because there are water glasses on the table. Also, as this is going on, Kira has another friend who joins us for the meal. And this person looks at their water glass and goes, "Is that lipstick?" Sure enough, there's a big lipstick mark on part of the glass. So we call one of the waiters over and say, like, there's lipstick on this water glass. And they go, "Oh shit, sorry. I'll get you another one from a different table." So what this person does is they take that glass, they go over to a table that hasn't had anyone sit at it yet, grab the water glass from there, they kind of put it down near the edge of the table and swap that one in with ours. This will be important later. So we start ordering our food. I am again getting something relatively inexpensive. But this place did have like burgers and stuff like that, so I was fine. And we're just having casual conversation. At one point, someone needs to get like another glass for a drink. And it eventually gets served in another glass. They're about to drink from it and they realize, is this the same lipstick glass from before? And sure enough, it was. They grabbed that same glass from that other table and tried using it again. But once the whole water glass fiasco was properly taken care of, the food was nice. So we have our lunch. We go back for the second block of autograph signings. And I need to note that at this convention, Casey did have like a print for sale of Chilchuck from Dungeon Meshi. They sold out of those on Saturday, which was encouraging for them, because it means people are watching that. People, even if like they don't necessarily like the show, they at least like the character. And that means they'll have to bring quite a few more of them the next time they do one of these signings. So the second block winds down. And Casey and Kira have to go for a tech setup for the next panel that they're doing. Because the next panel that they're doing is basically people come to the panel and play against Casey and Kira in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Because Casey doesn't really play Smash at all, but Kira still plays Smash, and once upon a time, Kira used to play Smash Bros. Competitively. So even though it's been a bit since they've done that, they're still really familiar with the game. Now, I wasn't planning to do anything for this panel whatsoever. But I'm kind of like standing off to the side, trying to make sure I'm not getting any of the tech people's way. And they're like doing some test fights, and they slowly start like letting people in. It's like 20 minutes before the panel actually starts. And then, and then Casey's like, do you want to try a couple matches against Kira? And I'm like, I'm not going to win, but okay. And then, I do one with Wii Fit Trainer, because stretch those shoulders. Of course, I was doing that more of the time than actual fighting. And, it's been a really long time since I actually attempted to play Smash. I did play it on, One Rule's stream, but for the most part, I was just fucking around and not really doing anything. So, I do another fight with Kira, where I'm playing as Banjo-Kazooie, a character I have never, ever played as. So I didn't know what any of his moves are. I'm just trying to BS my way through the fight, and the timer runs out, and somehow Kira and I still have the same amount of stock. So it goes to sudden death. And by sheer fucking dumb luck, I land a hit on Kira and win the match. That is the only time I will ever beat Kira in Smash. And it just so happened to happen, like, during the setup before this panel. The funny part is, after that happens, there's this guy who comes up from the crowd, and he gives us his card. I can't remember what it was he said that he did, but he was very complimentary of us, and said that we were all, like, pretty good Smash players, and I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing. But, there were... So, for this setup, there were 3 microphones on the stage. Casey and Kira were on one, which they were basically only going to use to call people up from the crowd. And there were 2 other free ones, so they go to me and say, could you do some commentary for the matches? I'm like, fucking what? I mean, I did it. I had no idea what was going on most of the time, but I did it. And that became something else we would do, is we would call people up from the crowd to commentate, which was both a great and terrible thing. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it allows more people to participate in it, even if they aren't, like, directly playing. So, we start, like, calling attendees up to either commentate or play against Casey and Kira. And as they're setting up the commentators, we just hear this loud boom through the microphone. And we're like, what? What the fuck was that? The tech people are scrambling, trying to figure out what in the hell made that noise. But no one really knows. So we're just like, all right. And we just kind of move on. But then we have another round of people go through. The commentators go up to set up on stage. Same thing. Boom. Loud ass noise through the speakers. I can't remember exactly what they said was causing it, but something about the way people walked up onto the stage. They were stepping on something that was making contact with a cable, which somehow made this loud ass noise like ripple through the speakers. So from that point on, they actually stationed like an AV guy by the stage, telling the commentators what not to do as they went to like set up in front of the mics for commentary. So I only did commentary on like the first match, and then the rest of it was just attendees. But time goes on, and usually people will, like, play as the characters who are, like, deemed quote-unquote good characters, or, like, the ones that get a lot of memes about them. Then there's this one ballsy guy who ends up playing against Casey and Kira. He picks random. And it's clear that he's got, like, an entourage of friends in this one part of the room that's egging him on. And I'm thinking, okay, if it's random, I know who I want it to be, but it's probably not going to be them. Because it was a character that nobody had picked, and sure enough, Rando comes up, he's playing as Shulk, and I am so happy. And apparently so are his friends too, because they see the Shulk silhouette come up and they go, yeah! So it's him and this other guy playing as Terry Bogard, and they do eventually win the match, and the entourage of friends is just like losing their mind. They're going, Shulk, 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 Shulk. And at the victory screen, the guy who was playing as Terry Bogard just happened to be wearing a hat at the time, and he turns around and tosses it over his head toward the crowd. And then he turns around and goes, did anyone see where my hat went? And another thing about the Smash panel is, Kira is one of those quote-unquote purists who's like, we gotta play on the Omega stages with no items turned on. Casey is like me in that we want Smash to be, sorry, I'm struggling to think of the word. Alright, fun. So eventually, we managed to, depending how you look at it, either convince or browbeat Kira into turning on some of the items and not just doing the, like, one platform stages. The items that were turned on were, I think, Smash Balls and Pokeballs. But that panel goes over pretty well, too. And, when that's over, sorry, I lost my place in my notes again. So when that's over, it's time for dinner. Kira has plans at, to go to this place that's relatively close by. We could easily walk to it. It was a place called Summer Shack. And it was a place that sold a bunch of seafood, but they had some non-seafood options as well. They did have clam chowder, but I didn't go for that because I don't know if I even like clam chowder, and I wanted to get something I knew I would eat. So I got the fish and chips. But there was something a little screwy with what was going on in the restaurant at the time. Because there's this one person who took our order, and she goes, all right, we'll have that right up. She goes back, presumably to drop off the order, and we never see her again. And then we start getting food, but we realize only half of us have what we ordered. And the funny thing is, Casey wasn't particularly hungry and just got, well, they call it shells and cheese, but it's basically mac and cheese, just with a different kind of pasta with the cheese. And for whatever reason, that was taking a very long time to come out. Like, we got clams sent to the table. We got lobster rolls sent to the table. My fish and chips got sent to the table. Mac and cheese? No, can't be done. But we do eventually get in contact with another person who's working there. Like, what's going on? We're still waiting for mac and cheese. And they're like, oh shit. They go back, and they fixed what was going on with the order. See, the order just vanished into the ether for a little bit, I guess. So the day is pretty much done at this point, and we go back to the room, and Casey brought a PS2, and I brought a few games for it, and we just decided to wind down with a bit of Gran Turismo 3 and 4. And even though I haven't played 7 yet, I have a feeling I should just stick to 3 and 4. Sorry, I think the skeletons are getting bored because I'm just talking and not actually fighting any of them. Hold on.
Orders? Coming through! This world will be better off without you.
Here.
Okay, so I'll need to get these guys whittled down.
Aye? Here. God, mine!
Sorry, I'm very late to that comment. I did end your 3DS stream, and I do not feel bad about it at all.
Yes? Darkness take me.
I kind of want to hold off on Blood for Blood, because I'm going to have these arrows coming down.
Aye.
Ready.
Yep.
Aye?
That's 32 plus 53, which is
Speak.
a lot.
Orders?
Speak. Ready. Good to the last drop.
So, Sunday comes. And, it's the last day of the convention. And because the convention happens to fall on Easter, they were also going to close the convention a little bit earlier than they otherwise would have. That also meant that it was a little lighter on fans in attendance that day. So, like, it wasn't a constant stream of people. There were, like, some lulls here and there, which was okay. That's kind of like having built-in breaks. But this is the day that I decided to do, like, a really simple cosplay. Because I just happened to find this, like, light blue hoodie, and I already had a red hat, and I figured, fuck it, I could make this Naota from Furikuri cosplay. So I brought that, and it did actually get recognized a few times. I was a little surprised, because usually when you cosplay someone who's just wearing, like, regular-ass street clothes, it can be a little tough for people to recognize that, but a surprising number of people caught it. So because it was a bit lighter on fans, we decided, well, Casey decided, because they kind of run their show, that they were going to take a 20-minute break and go see what's in the dealer space, because they haven't really had a chance to do that the entire convention. So, both of us dipped for a bit, and we're just weaving through the convention space, trying to figure out where the video games. In the process, I find this one place that's selling video game soundtracks. And I'm just kind of glancing through the discs, and I find the soundtrack to Babylon's Fall. I don't know what I expected to find, but I definitely wasn't expecting to find the soundtrack to Babylon's Fall. Much less the soundtrack to Babylon's Fall priced at $110. Although I guess they gotta make up for the lost money somehow. So we do eventually find a game vendor, which when we were initially going through there while they were still setting up, we saw them in passing and we're like, we gotta go back there. And one roll, if you're still listening, Not This Shit Again New York was there and they're not the vendor I'm talking about. So we go to this other place that's selling older games. And Casey's looking around, they see a couple of things that they're interested in. And I'm just kind of like casually looking, not expecting to buy anything. Because most of the things that I would want to buy are like way out of my price range. And then I look through the 3DS games. And something sticks out to me. The words Resident Evil. Just because I've played a bunch of the games, I'm generally a fan of the series. And then I read the word after it, which is supposed to be Revelations. It is not. It is Revelitans. Because there was a run where they misprinted the title of the game on the label. I have Revelations for Wii U. I don't have it for 3DS. That is ultimately how I justified purchasing a copy of this game that I would otherwise get just because haha funny title. Yeah, one roll. You are the reason that I know about that. So I guess I have you to thank for me ultimately getting that from the vendor. But if I remember correctly, I think Casey got like a Twisted Metal game on PSP and I think Wipeout 64. Unless I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that was it. So we do get back from the break. There aren't that many people left who are asking for autographs. But there were still a few. And the entire time this is going on, I'm thinking of Unicorn Overlord. Because that's a game I'm playing right now. I'm still nowhere near the end. I'm probably going to have thousands of hours in it when all is said and done. But Casey voices like one of the custom mercenary voices in that game. Apathetic 1 is, I think, what their voice is. And they just sound like, uh-huh. I actually did it. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So naturally, I assigned it to, like, the big hulking brute characters. But the point is, we'd gone the entire weekend. And then one of the last people who comes up for autographs says, by the way, I also really liked your voice in Unicorn Overlord. And both Casey and I just like throw our hands in the air. We're like, yeah, someone mentioned it. And the dude, he's a little confused. He's like, did you guys have a bet going on this or something? Like, no, we're just happy that you mentioned Unicorn Overlord. Ah, boy. So, our time for autographs is up. And there's this thing Anime Boston was doing for closing ceremonies, where they highly encourage guests to show up for it. But it technically wasn't mandatory. And, like, some of the guests almost couldn't show up for it because they still had, like, long lines. Christina V next to us, she was swamped the entire weekend, and even late on Sunday, there was a big line of people waiting for her. So she wasn't going to be able to get away from the table anytime soon. But Casey and Kira both go to closing ceremonies, and they handled this a little differently than the initial time. So, they still have everyone come backstage, and they still have them go on stage. But rather than doing it one at a time, they have all the North American guests go on stage at once, pass around a microphone, say a few things, and that includes Casey and Kira, and it also includes Greg Ayers. Now, the significance of this is that Casey and Greg are friends, and they have been for a while. And in fact, once upon a time, about 10 years ago, Greg Ayers was a guest at Anime Boston. And Casey was like Greg's plus one. Here they are, 10 years later, and now both of them are guests at Anime Boston. And they both took time to kind of reflect on that while they were on stage. That was a really cool moment between those two. Eventually, everyone gets off stage. We're getting kind of hungry, so we grab Shake Shack again. I don't care, the food was okay, and it was accessible. We get Shake Shack, we go back to the room, and we start playing video games. And by video games, I mean Tony Hawk. We started off with Tony Hawk's Underground 2, which I still haven't played much, and am afraid to do a video on at some point in the future. Because I'm probably not going to have as many positive things to say about it. But there is like a Boston type level in there where there's a church. And Casey managed to clip through the wall and get into the church where there was absolutely nothing. But in trying to move around inside of that space in the church, their character model T-spins. T-poses and spins in a bunch of really unnatural ways. That was something they apparently knew about. But when they got back out of the church area and were just on the street, there's this guy on rollerblades who's an NPC that just rolls around the map. And when he gets a certain distance away, he will still follow a set path around the map, but his animations completely die. And we realized that when he did this one animation where he's on rollerblades and he jumps up in the air and throws his hands out, and he got stuck in that pose and just hovered around the rest of the map. And we thought, well, we're probably not going to top that. Took out Thug 2, put in Underground 1, and this is the moment where the entire afternoon and evening went completely downhill. Proving Ground went. You got the Patreon money? Oh shit, you actually do have the Patreon money. Never mind. Hyper Ukemi skateboard trick. Oh, you want a Hyper Ukemi skateboard trick? Tony Hawk's Underground 1, we're just messing around in the New Jersey level, like the very first level. And it doesn't take us long to find something that neither of us realized was there. So there's this quarter pipe that goes to, it goes to the roof of a building, but along the side of it is a set of buildings that functions as like the edge of the map. You can't actually launch yourself over it, but there's an invisible wall that keeps you from flying over it and falling out of the stage. However, I accidentally found that when you like launch off of it and are facing directly at the wall and fly into it, and you start descending, you can actually bounce off of that wall, get additional air, and have time to do more tricks. So that led to us trying to figure out a way to do as many backflips as possible off of this one quarter pipe. And you know, without the bounce trick, you could do 2. It was possible to just barely do 3, but you had to be extremely fast on the inputs and do a fast plant to get extra air. With the bounce trick, I managed to do 4 backflips, and I was much prouder of that than I should have been. So then Casey starts messing around with this, and is kind of in the same general area as where that quarter pipe is, and manages to get the character stuck in midair in like a point where one wall ends and another begins. They realize that they're off their board at this time, so they start hitting jump, and it starts elevating them further and further and further above the stage. And parts of the level start to just phase out completely. They get back on their board and start doing special tricks. The camera starts wobbling all over the place. And I'm thinking, is this like a Pro Skater 1 and 2 situation where you get under the map and you just fall infinitely and do tricks until you get bored? But they do eventually manage to fall. And then they get caught on the edge of a building before they actually land. It looks like the edge of the building like has them by the scruff of the neck. And they hang for a moment, and the moment they try to do like more tricks or move out of it, they start bouncing repeatedly, but not actually landing. So they just start doing more tricks, like fuck it. And eventually, it does like spit them out, and they land, and they get like millions and millions of points for a combo. The most bizarre combo I've ever seen. So that's kind of funny, and bizarre in its own right. But then Casey mentions a weird little bit of trivia about Underground 1. There's this move you can do where you're like alternating between a blunt slide and a nose slide. And it is like one of the only tricks in the game where your character model's mouth is open, going like, whoa! And for whatever reason, we decided, that looks kind of goofy. Let's see what it looks like on all of the other characters. And this is where the true horror began. Because it looked perfectly normal on the custom skater that you would make for the game. Some of the skaters in the game, their mouth doesn't open at all. And it's not consistent about how it works. Like, there are some characters who would talk in the game, so you knew that their character model was capable of opening their mouth, but they wouldn't do it for the trick. And then there were other characters who didn't say anything and their mouth would open. But when their mouth opened, it also opened the door to a new kind of horror. And there are a few different flavors of this kind of horror. And I actually put some images up here to give you an idea. So this is what Eric Sparrow looks like when he's doing the trick. This is the first variant we call the Void variant, where there's just nothing but blackness and he's trying to swallow the universe. There is another variant that looks like this, which we so eloquently dubbed Vagmouth. There's this, who we dubbed Tesla Cop, because it kind of looks like the logo. There's this one, which more just amuses me. I call this Dynasty Warriors Pro Skater. And there's also this one, which I call I Am the Walrus, Cuckoo Choo. This is not all the different types. These are just like 5 of the main ones that I wanted to point out. We went through every single character in the game looking to see like who had the most fucked up mouths. And there are now hundreds, that is not an exaggeration, hundreds of photographs on my phone of every character, well, almost every character in the game, with like weird, deformed, mutated mouths because of this trick. This one weird trick. Dr. Coomer from Half-Life. Well, there is a mad scientist in Underground, and yes, he does have a fucked up mouth. So that went on for hours. And both of us were laughing so much that we got, like, borderline migraine headaches from it. We eventually got away from Underground. Our headaches slowly went away. And we all went to sleep. Monday, we get up, we pick up the hotel room, we say goodbye to Kira because she was catching a flight, whereas Casey was not, because Casey was going to hang out in Connecticut, which is where they're from, and they still have friends and family in the area. I was already planning to drive back to Ohio, and part of my route would take me through Connecticut. So, I just gave them a ride to where they were going, and then dropped them off, and was planning to go back. I realized, though, I scheduled my April Fool's thing to go up as I was making the drive to Connecticut. So, in between Boston and where I was going in Connecticut, we stopped in a Walgreens parking lot for the YouTube premiere of the April Fool's video that I put up. It was a thing. There's not really much more I can add to it than that. So, I eventually drop off Casey where they're going. We grab a bit of food. We make a detour to Bristol to see ESPN Campus. Spoiler, it is absolutely fucking huge. And then I get back in my car and I drive over to One Roll's place. And I meet up with him, and I meet up with Nightman and a family member of his. and we all go to get some food at this place called Fuji's. I'd already eaten, but I did end up getting some sushi rolls, which were pretty good. I would not mind eating there again. And from there we go to GameStop, which I have not set foot in a GameStop in a very, very long time. But while we're there, Nightman decides to just ask the person at the GameStop if they had Unicorn Overlord for PS5 in stock. Because Unicorn Overlord on like pretty much anything but the Switch has been extremely hard to find. But they had one copy. They had one copy because a person pre-ordered it for PS5 and then never picked it up. And the game came out like almost a month ago. So it was well past the holding period, and Nightman just bought it. Now, there's another person who's been looking for Unicorn Overlord for PS5, and that's Casey. So I made sure to take a photo of Nightman with the Unicorn Overlord copy and then send it to Casey. I don't know if that's a dick move or not. It wasn't meant to be. It was just like, there is hope. So, speaking of Unicorn Overlord, One Roll had a special edition of it, which came with a bunch of other stuff, including the Unicorn Overlord card game. 'Cause these are things again. And it included this comic of Sir Joseph explaining the rules of the card game. And once you play the game, you can't not see all of Sir Joseph's text and not hear Bill Millsap's voice. So eventually, I say my goodbyes, and I hit the road. And the road back is pretty okay so far. It's a bit later in the day, so the traffic's not as heavy. So I'm not having any trouble through like Connecticut, the part of New York I drove through. Pennsylvania's going fine, even though it's a little foggy in spots. And then the rain starts. I'm within like an hour, hour and a half of the Pennsylvania-Ohio border, and the rain just starts coming down in buckets. Casey, say anything about the collector's edition stuff? Actually, yeah, I think they did. Hold on, I'm checking something. Oh yeah, Casey said that's fucking cool. And also, you should get it for PS5 in case you ever get one. More on that later. So, the rain is getting really bad, and I'm still in the part of Pennsylvania where it's foggy. So visibility is like at a premium. Like, there are points where I'm not able to see a car coming until it's maybe 100, 150 feet away. But I'm still managing through, and I hit the Ohio border, and the rain's letting up. So I think, okay, I'm through the worst of it now. I'm on the home stretch. I take a bit of a nap at a rest area. And I'm like an hour, 20 minutes away from home. And I'm like, all right, home stretch, let's do this. It's still raining a bit, but within like 5 minutes of me getting back on the road, it's just raining the hardest that it's been the entire trip. Like, I had the wipers on like max speed, and it's helping sort of. I can see like some light flickering in front of me, and I realize, oh shit, that's my left headlight going out. The rain is coming down so hard that all of the semis on the road just went, well, fuck this, pulled over to the shoulder and waited for the rain to stop rather than try to drive through any of it. There are certain portions on the highway, so highways are usually designed so that they're crowned, meaning that the elevation on them like goes down as you go from the lanes toward the middle of the highway to the edge of the highway, so that like the water runs off. That did not stop water from somehow pooling in certain parts of the highway. But I'm like fighting through this as best I can. I'm tired. I'm angry at the storm because like I'm in that kind of headspace at the time. I get to like 20 minutes away from home, and I have to avoid a car accident. Because this person, like, I'm in the, basically the fast lane, although it's not moving that fast. There is a person on the shoulder who is perpendicular to the wall, and their bumper is sticking out into the lane I'm driving in. So I have to do some evasive maneuvers to not clip them and possibly cause them to spin into the road. I think, oh god, that was close. But I made it. I'm gonna make it. 10 minutes from home. My road is relatively clear. But I see, like, I'm going southbound, and I can see the northbound side next to me. And I just see a shit ton of sirens. And beyond them, I see a bunch of cars and trucks and semis that are not moving. And I realize, oh god, there's a pileup on the other side of the highway. I really need to get home. By this point, the sun is starting to rise, because I had been driving all night. I finally get through the door. It's like just after 7 a.m., I think. Tiger Uchimaru was there to greet me and welcome me home. And then they said that they had a couple of things. And like, part of me is like, can it wait? I just want to go the fuck to sleep. But I'm like, okay, are they good things? And they're like, yes. They take me to my office. And they said that they moved a couple of things around, like particularly where my game consoles and my TV were. And there's this thing sitting there with a bow on it. I am so tired, I do not recognize what this is at first. But I rub my eyes a little bit and I go, that's a PlayStation 5. Do I own a PlayStation 5 now? And sure enough, a certain someone got me a PS5 as like an Easter present. Yeah, I can't say what's a PS5 anymore. So I found the person, like I knew who was responsible for this. What's an Xbox? That thing you wish a happy Easter. I know who was responsible for this, and I angrily thanked them for it. And now I have to find things to play for the PS5. Other than all the shit I already have for PS4. Who did it? How about I just read you the note that was attached to it? To Scott. From the Easter Score Bunny. And I was so happy, I just went the fuck to sleep. I woke up around like 12:40-ish. Thankfully, I didn't have work. And I've been slowly recovering ever since. And that was my Anime Boston. Yeah, it turns out that statement was foreshadowing.
Yes?
And I completely forgot to actually play the game while telling the story.
On your word.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Tell me what you need.
Gotta hit the sack. Okay, thanks for sticking around, Tiger. Have a good rest.
On your word. Okay, +5 armor for each active skeleton. You too? Alright, well, thanks for sticking around, One Roll. You didn't miss the story time, which was the most important part of this. Wait, and this must cap at 15. Because there are 6 skeletons on the field.
What are we doing?
Yes?
Yes?
See, that's
On your
43. Can't do that again. I have 10 of these things? Oh, but it would cost 2 of those things to do it.
Speak.
What should I do?
Tell me.
On your word.
Tell me what you need.
Yes?
Aye?
Here.
I was hoping one of them would have move as a free action, but doesn't look like that's happening.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Ready.
Yes? In yer I care, then steer.
Command me.
Alright, I'm gonna see if I can finish off this battle.
Speak.
73, 27, 73 and 27, that's 110. Oh, but it critted.
Orders?
Aye.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Hang on.
Alright. So it doesn't look like they have Headstrong, which means I can use magic to take advantage of them a bit.
Ready.
Ready? I suppose. Fuskelemish.
On your word.
Tell me.
Ready.
I think that's the max amount of criticals she can have. So I'm gonna save these.
Ready.
They're going to reanimate, but at least have a couple of these ready to go for the next turn.
Yeah?
That is unfortunate.
On your word.
Fuskelemish.
Here.
What are we doing?
Orders?
Yes?
Strike.
Well, shit. He at least has a physical to fall back on.
Ready.
Ready? I suppose.
Yeah?
Yes?
Clutched it with the 3 crits.
Speak.
Tell me.
Aye?
Yes?
On your word.
Here. God, one.
Oh, so close to a level up.
Do you need me?
Right. I am going to clear this out. I think I got this.
Yeah, good thing I was being careful. Oh, that actually is an improvement. I'm not used to seeing those at this stage in the game.
Bertie?
What do you need?
I'll at least check to see what kind of mobs they are.
Aye? Away
But I'm
I-
probably going to end the stream.
We would be fools to enter this battle.
Wait a minute, 322. That's lower than the combat power for the mobs I just fought. Oh, I'm actually tempted to give this a shot.
Darkness take me.
You know what, we'll see what the battle is like.
We're gonna get ourselves killed.
Who's killing his shit?
Holy shit. Okay, he does not have infectious magic. Yeah, I agree.
Speak! Your knight must die!
On your word.
Aye?
Aye. Good steel, good arm, never lost yet.
Gonna load back to the game I just had. Because I just realized he's not gonna be tauntable twice on the same turn.
Yes? Goodbye. For now. We would be fools to enter this battle.
Then fools we are.
Who's killing his shit?
Bottoms up.
Aye.
Speak!
Ready.
Hang on.
Orders?
You are my prey. Aye?
Aye? Aye? Darkness take me.
Hmm.
Ready?
On your word.
Yep.
Ready. Down the hatch. Command me. God, mine!
Am I supposed to be doing something? Who's killing this shit?
Yeah?
Tell me what you need.
Yeah?
Tell me. Come on, you tinkers.
Orders?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Olga, lend me your armor.
Ah, shit, that does count.
Who's killing this shit?
Well, this is gonna be more of a pain in the ass.
On your word. Slange.
Yes? In yeah, you can, then steer.
Orders? Speak.
Tell me.
Speak.
What are we doing?
Ready?
What should I do?
Aye.
Yes? Aye. Ready.
Tell me what you need.
Hang on. Fuskelene ship.
On your word.
Yeah?
But bearskin thicken my hide.
On your word.
Yeah?
You like this.
Fuskelene ship.
Ready.
Ready.
Yes?
Tell me.
We're gonna be here a while.
Speak. Don't mind me.
Yes? Forgive me.
Here.
What are we doing?
Command me.
Ready? I suppose. Ready.
Speak.
On your word. On your word.
Yep.
On your word.
Aye.
Am I supposed to be doing something? Fuskelene ship.
Ready.
Aye? How fills me.
Here.
Ready. Good to the last drop.
Oh shit.
Fuskelene ship.
Ready?
Ready.
Yes?
Yes?
Speak!
Tell me what you need.
What should I do? Aye.
On your word.
Here.
Here.
Yes? Fuskellenish.
Command me.
Orders. Away I go. Here. Uh-huh. Stronger, swifter.
Cheers.
Aye.
Yes?
Ready?
Aye?
Tell me what you need.
Speak. Ready.
Orders.
Tell me.
Ready.
And
Fuskellenish.
hmm.
Yeah?
Yep. Good steel, good arm, never lost yet.
Command me.
Ready? I suppose.
On your word. Bottoms up. On your word.
Tell me. Stepping fast.
Uh-huh. On your word.
Ready.
Ready.
Yes?
Speak. What should I do?
On your word.
Command me.
Aye.
Yeah?
Tell me what you need.
Speak.
Ready.
Here.
What should I do?
Yep.
Orders.
Yeah?
Here.
Yeah?
Ready.
Here.
What are we doing?
Yes?
On your word.
Yep.
Aye?
Good.
Speak. Ready.
Speak.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Aye.
Uh-huh. Ready.
Tell me what you need.
Speak.
Tell me.
On your word.
Now this could become a problem.
Orders?
Yes?
Yes?
Here.
Aye?
Yes? God, moin!
On your word.
Ready?
Speak.
Yeah? Pardon?
Yep. Coming through.
Speak.
I do not like this placement at all.
On your word. Cheers. Ready.
Tell me.
Uh-huh.
Orders?
On your word. Aye?
Yes?
I feel vigorous
Goodbye.
suddenly.
For now.
On your word. God, moin!
Hang on. Fusskelenish.
Command me. Ready. Swange. On your word.
Aye.
What should I do?
Tell me what you need.
Aye.
On your word.
Aye.
That's good.
Fusskelenish.
Here. Carlton.
Yes? What are we doing?
Yes?
Ready? Down the hatch.
Speak.
Ready?
Ready. Orders?
Aye.
Aye.
Ready? Here.
Yeah?
Oops, his animations died.
I don't know what the hell he's thinking. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. I don't know what the hell he's thinking.
Thanks, Blonde Guy Gamer, for the raid. I assume / hope Prince of Persia is going well. And that when it comes to all the warriors that happen to be within, you stand alone. Inside you stand alone.
Aye.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I already went over all the happenings in Anime Boston, so you'll just have to check the VOD or wait for the YouTube upload to hear about what I slept on for the entire con.
Hang on.
Ready. On your word.
Tell me what you need.
Yeah?
Yes?
Uh-huh.
Tell me.
Orders? Orders?
Yeah? Ready.
Ready? Fuskelinish.
Speak.
Damn, I knew that was coming. Thanks, Blonde Guy Gamer, for the tier 1 sub. 15 months. You think you had a rough night? Try sleeping on one of these.
Aye.
Always coming through. With that Simpsons reference.
Aye?
Yep.
Speak.
Ready.
I think there's much else I can do with this opportunity point.
Yes?
Yes?
Speak.
No! Burning!
And then, there you go.
Puss Kalanish.
On your word.
Archer's missing his bow.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Enjoy the barding of the tales. Unity said all he did at Anime Boston. Yeah, there was a lot to cover. If you want a completely out of context thing, I can throw that at you real quick. Also, hi 8-star. I am trying to finish off this fight before calling it a stream, but this dude has like 2,000 HP, so it's been taking a while. Here is your out of context Anime Boston moment. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
What should I do? Command me.
Yes? Den stier.
Here.
Vinny game corruption got... Well, this was accidental. Vinny's are kind of on purpose.
Tell me what you need.
Ready. Ready. On your word.
The booze!
Tell me.
I forgot how satisfying it is to be able to score a kill on this game by throwing beer at it. Yep, there it is.
On your word.
But the downside to that is he's out of range.
Orders.
Now, you can't just have them attack the floating barrier.
Command me.
Ready?
Ready? Puss Kalanish.
Speak.
Here.
On your word.
Ready?
Yeah. Ready.
Ready.
I need to get her some protection.
Who's Helenish?
What should I do? Invigorating.
That'll do.
Hang on.
Speak.
Aye?
Okay, this could work.
Yes?
On your word.
Speak.
Tell me.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Ready.
Away I go.
Aye?
Yes?
On your word.
Orders?
Here.
Alright, his health bar's not red anymore, at least.
On your word.
Tell me what you need.
Ready.
Yep.
Yes? Uh-huh. Slange.
Orders?
Yeah?
Aye.
On your word. On your word.
Okay, so there are options for that range-wise.
On your word.
Yes?
Ready. Yeah?
Oh, his animations died again.
I feel unsafe.
Putting the statue in living statue. 66 plus 40. That's 106.
Command me.
Ready.
Tell me what you need.
Orders?
Eat shit and die.
Here. God, moin!
What are we doing? Yeah, then steer.
Jeez. These DLC fights, man.
That wasn't easy, was it? Well, she was the shield of the king. You'd expect her to put up a good fight.
Quiet, you. Oh, jeez, I gotta compare this against the shit that I have. Also, I'll have to back out and make some booze.
Making sure there's no, like, hidden switches or anything. Oh, pff, I hit the wrong one. I don't quite trust like that. Right. Well, halfway there, I suppose. Let us celebrate this new arrangement with the adding of rotted food to water. Also, I gotta figure out if anything I just picked up is worth my time.
Eh?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Oh, hello.
I can hear shit moving around, and it always makes me a little nervous. Yeah, this doesn't really go with the build that I have. This is the right weapon, but it's got the wrong bonuses attached to it.
How may I help?
Oh, hello. Those I'm not going to use anyway.
What do you need?
So, here's the annoying thing. I have shit to sell,
But who am I gonna sell it to? Because I think I've cleaned out virtually every merchant on the goddamn planet. Oh, I have a level up too. First time in a long time. Hmm. Why not? Make the strength potion even more effective. That's where we are now. I really don't know where I could go to try and sell stuff. I'm gonna have to start keeping a running tally of which merchants have money and which don't.
So, folks are saying the mad god Tarjan has returned too. Well, I'm not going to bother relearning his song. Oh no, if he's anything like the other two, he'll be dead before I get a chance to sing it.
Right, he has 49 gold. Anything I could sell? That's a no. No, I don't.
Be happy, friends. Ham says so.
I'm gonna have to just start buying up shit from all the merchants I can find. Like, not permanent items. Exhaustible kinds.
Strange doings in the woods lately. Best to keep to the town.
Another round then.
Fettercairn was a bigger town once. Now Skara Bray's the big town.
Damned fatherite patrols. Stealing everything that ain't nailed down.
Let me make sure I didn't have anything that got lost in the inventory. Gonna check something real
Cheers.
quick.
Eh?
I see. Okay, I will actually hold on to that then.
My so good to see you again.
Well, I was able to sell at least a few things. My inventory is still kind of wrecked, though.
Rumor has it of all.
Okay.
don't think she had anything else I can make good use of.
What can I do?
What do you need?
Yeah, he has the exact same things. Never mind.
Mine.
God damn it.
Go safely, friends. Rumor of
See, look what you did. Now she has negative 198 gold. Alright, just so I don't forget what I was doing, I'm going to put myself back in the Herrenhold. And then the next time I start this up, I can go through part 3 of this dungeon. Oh shit! I just realized I forgot something from the Anime Boston's storytelling. So, this was on Sunday. Yeah, it was on Sunday during one of the last autograph blocks. 2 people come up to the table. One of them looks kind of familiar. Like, I know I haven't seen the person in person before, but something about their look seems familiar. And then I see that they, then I notice their badge. And I see that they're technically listed as, like, a panel-based guest. And it says their name is Redbard. And for those unfamiliar, Redbard is a YouTube channel which makes videos about anime conventions and anime convention culture. One of their more popular or infamous videos is like the history of the Yaoi paddle, but they've also done videos like can you survive solely off of Evangelion products or Sword Art Online products? They did one deep dive on this clusterfuck of a convention that never happened, which was, I think it was IzumiCon? So anyway, they come up to the table, and instead of like asking for a print or anything like that, they walk up to the table and they have this piece of printer paper and present it to Casey. It is a printed out screenshot of an old dubbing project that was posted on YouTube ages ago called Casey and Friends, which is, I think it's Higurashi. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But basically it takes Higurashi and makes it all goofy and silly instead of murderous and psychotic. So they present this because they saw it a while ago and they still reference it on a regular basis. And they thought it would be funny because, you know, it's called Casey and Friends. Casey's first name is Casey. And then Casey goes, "Oh yeah, I made this a while ago with some friends." And apparently that blew Red Bard's mind. But because this is something that doesn't come across Casey's table every day, they just absolutely went to town on this screenshot of Casey and Friends. They're like doodling over the face of the person in the screenshot. They're writing all kinds of comments. They eventually sign their name, but they also write like, "I'm sorry you've spent the past 20 years referencing this." They swap a couple of quotes from it, and they also take like a quick video of themselves saying a quote from it. That quote being, "Oh no, it's got cheese." Which I still don't know the significance of, but I will eventually watch Casey and Friends and figure out what in the hell that means. But, alright. That's... I think that should do it for this stream. Although I'm also realizing that I have... Oops. Don't think I was supposed to do that. Oh well. I'm realizing I think I went through 3 parts of this, but I only have 2 of these things. So unless I have something sitting in my inventory that I just never got rid of, which it doesn't look like. Alright. Well, that is going to do it for me tonight. I really don't know what I am doing with, oh, what's it called? Oh yeah, my stream for the rest of the week. I'm still in a mild state of delirium from everything that happened over the weekend. But, possibly doing either Unicorn Overlord or Monster Hunter. Or who knows, maybe I'll stream setting up the PS5, because I just remembered I now have one of those. Whatever. We'll figure that out eventually. Oh, what has been the past 4 days? I don't even know anymore. Let me see. I don't know if anyone I know is still streaming. Everyone was streaming before me. Let's see what this person is streaming. They just marked it as retro, so I have to actually pull up the stream and see what they're doing. Oh, you know what? This person is playing... Why did it just start playing an ad twice? Oh, fucking hell. Thanks, Twitch. Okay, we're gonna raid this person. They are playing Mega Man Legends 2, apparently for the first time. So thanks for hanging out, guys, hearing the weird convention stories, and I will catch you around.